everyone,
Wait,
whoever,
I don't, are we live
I
yet?
don't know.
I don't know if we are live yet. We're gonna hang on a second if we are. Okay,
Hey,
I think we
everyone,
are
we are
now.
live. Yeah,
Hey,
cool.
there we go.
So we have this like amazing situation opportunity where I have this stellar person who gets to like pretty much whenever I ask say, hey, could you work with me? And we both do the same amazing magic. And we were, so we both got on the table, not at the same time, obviously, and received. And afterwards, we were sitting on the couch and we're like, holy shit, like stuff's intense right now, like
Yeah,
really intense. There's, certain situations we could get into the details of. And I mean, the bottom line is like, I don't think we're alone here. And that was
yeah,
part of the conversation. And we had this moment of like intensity matched with like a lot of gratitude because we have the capacity to like ask for help and receive it like instantaneously.
mm-hmm.
And so Chelsea Ray was like, let's just go live. Let's just check in with people and see how they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, I just want to say, there is a lot going on right now, and I know I've we're sensitive to the collective, and I felt a lot of stuff today, and y'all probably are too. I don't know, maybe you're having an incredible day, but
We don't
I'm
want to
holding
project.
holding space for that. Like that's great if you are. And today and this weekend has felt like unusual, like beyond the typical unusualness that this year has
20,
been.
2020
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah. And like Brian said, like thank God I was able to get um
Mm-hmm.
receive an entrainment and stuff. And um we just wanted to like show up and say that like we're here with you, and um maybe check in and like see how you're doing. Like I actually can't see on the screen who's watching and who isn't.
New
Um,
format.
yeah,
She's
it's a
used to
new
her phone. We
format.
have my computer. Sorry.
So I mean, if you are like, feel free to let us know like how are you doing.
Yeah.
Um, I know I've felt like really kind of tense for no specific reason. I was feeling, and of course, I would look around in my environment and I could point out, like, oh, it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's
Right.
that. But, now that I'm feeling better, it was none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always what our mind does, is it says, like, the way I feel is a product of my circumstances, and it's this stuff on the outside. And I really want to, and say that you don't need a reason for how you
Right.
feel.
Right.
Like you
It's
don't need a
easy.
reason.
It's easy to find a reason,
It
especially
is
these
easy,
days.
right?
And so to that, we simply wanted to recognize that we have an opportunity. We have, a personal ecosystem, if you
Totally.
will, that affords us to be able to like tap in and feel more connected. And at the same time, it felt really kind of greedy to just like share that between the two of us. So
Mm-hmm.
we thought, you know what, let's just hop on and say hi and say if you are feeling intensity. Um, Whether or not you actually have like circumstances that equate to like, oh, that intensity makes sense. Um, Even if you don't, and maybe even especially if you don't, really recognizing that, especially in this year, like 2020 has been a emmer effort for, I, you know, for a lot of people. And it's not just been like one thing. There's been this like stacking of all these different things. And so, in a certain way, we've kind of lost our capacity to like really recognize intensity because it's all felt, or at least
It's
it's
like what
been this
isn't
like
intense?
like what
Yeah,
isn't intense these
yeah.
days. Um, and so just really honoring and acknowledging that like you're not alone, like you're not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had
Mm-hmm.
this moment where Chelsea ran off the table and she's like, I can see from a different perspective, and like I don't really feel part of this planet anymore. And I'm like, well, you're
He's
kind of
outing me.
not. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and I think that there's also this time period right now where, like, yes, we're human, 100%. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like, now's a time where I think people are starting to recognize a much more expanded version of themselves. And um, that's what's wanting to be pushed down. And
Mm.
you are that. Like, you are more than you've ever thought you were. And part of the intensity of what's happening right now is there is this expansion happening on the planet, and it's being met simultaneously with a lot of pressure down. And that can feel crazy if you're just operating with a 3D picture of reality where you're a human being, you were born in this place and you live here now, and that's beginning and you work here and you have these family members. Like, that's the beginning and end of your story. Like, it's not going to match because it doesn't.
Because that's not real.
It's not
Yeah,
real.
there's more to reality. And if you're watching right now, like literally that's you.
Yeah.
That Brian is saying. Like, you're more than you've ever known that you are. You're more than you've ever known yourself to be. And that's why who you are is probably unexplainable even to you.
Yes. And so just being curious to, like, well, what would that mean if I
Mhm.
was
Aw,
hi,
hi, beautiful.
Hey, we just
Hi, Claudia.
what if we were able to tune into, like, what is more is, and simply just being available to that and asking that question out loud. Say it out loud. Like,
Mm.
if
What's the question?
uh, if I'm beyond who I think I am,
Mhm.
then what would that beyond be? And how could I use it in a way that's constructive to me now, that actually helps me feel that bigness, helps me feel that capable, like helps me recognize that even though there seem to be all these imposed limitations on our environment and in our, collective right now, what if the whole purpose of feeling that squishness was to, like, really break free of it? And what if what was beyond where you've been is the very nature of your joy being expressed in reality?
Mm. Mhm.
So,
Mhm. And I promise you that the pressures you're facing right now are an initiation.
yes.
And what does that mean, initiation? It means it's an invitation for you to like face it, challenge it, meet it in a way you haven't before,
Mhm.
just on like one level beyond what you've met before. Maybe more
Anita.
presence. Hi.
Yes.
Maybe more presence, maybe more honesty, maybe more truth, maybe
Mhm.
more feeling, maybe more uh, fill in the blank of
Yeah.
whatever, whoever you're being called to be right now. Hi, Will.
Oh,
Oh gosh,
Will's like,
guys.
he's our star Facebook Live guy. Your name was mentioned tonight, Will, as a reason why we had to get on a Facebook Live, because Will is the master.
Yeah, look at
Um,
Claudia saying who she is. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Feel free. This is a safe space,
Totally.
to say who you are and
Yeah.
own it and claim it and be witnessed.
Yeah,
like
and
that's
feel it.
we will always like hold that in our spaces. Hi,
Yeah.
Darlene. Hey.
And so,
Yeah.
and the other thing is too, is like, yes, this is an initiation, and Earth Plane has had it is really like an initiation incubator. Like, that's like part of its role. And what's different about this initiation, and this is like mission critical for all of us to get, is like, none of us are alone in it. Like,
Right.
this is initiation en masse. This is initiation of the collective. And so it can be terrifying. Can I say that on Facebook?
Yeah.
It can be terrifying when you are positioned with that initiation as being alone, because it's not meant to be. And this is the thing that we really want to speak to, is like, right now, more than ever, whatever that thing is that is your gift, there is nothing holding you back from giving it, like, full on. And you will be observing us, like, in that process,
Yeah.
coming forward. So whatever that is for you, like, know that even if we never talk, if we never, like, we are cheerleading you on as we are doing the same for ourselves. And this is the time where we collectively wake up and go, hey, this shit that's going on, psst, this is like this is like the, you know, the secret energies that have been running the planet. Like we are now that, but flipped. And it's literally unstoppable what's happening right now. And here's the thing, every core of your being, every little part of you, possibly, or at least enough that might keep you silent, or, you know, keep you talking like you're this because you literally are, or because you feel like you are. Um, there's the illusion that you're not supposed to. And we are
Mm.
going to be here with you, cheerleading you on in whatever reason you are here to be. Now is a really good time to get it out.
Yeah, this time is secretly called to me, and I don't always feel like this. So, um, just full disclosure, the rise of humanity, the rise of Earth.
Mhm.
So please, whatever you've got, like don't keep it from other people.
Yeah.
We're meant to be here in this together, and we're totally unstoppable. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that. And as soon as you face and name what it is that it seems is stopping you,
Mhm.
that thing is so much less powerful.
And
And we did that very thing tonight,
Mhm.
just so you know, because
Mhm.
um, just to speak to that, like when I got off the table today, I was like, wow, I really feel like I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. I'm not a local. Like I'm not from here. You know?
We're
and,
expats.
and I and sometimes like I feel so dissatisfied being here. Sometimes I'm like, what is this place? And other times I'm like, this is the best. I'm so glad I chose Earth. You know,
Mhm.
like it goes both ways, and that's healthy. That's
Mhm.
normal. And um, we have a lot to share with y'all. We have a lot to share with the world, just like you do. And we have felt this feeling of like, I would describe it as like a net of like, oh, this is strange. Like it feels like we can't because of silly circumstance reason. And so what we did, and I'm just sharing this with you because I know it'll help you. I know it will, just to name it
Mhm.
and say like, oh, this seems like this, and then the silliness of it is evident.
Yes.
And then you become unstoppable again, and you've basically owned your own darkness or the darkness that's
Yep.
existing.
Yep.
So that's, I think, what humanity is doing on a collective level is
Yep.
just naming different things and coming through.
Mhm.
So we're coming through.
Yep.
And that's really all we have.
That's it for tonight.
Yeah.
So just know that we're here. We love you.
Yeah.
We miss you, and you'll be seeing more of us. And we know we'll be seeing more of you. So sending love from Asheville, North Carolina. Mwah.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
So good to see your faces.